Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jamie Jackson here for another Panther chat with Dr. Rachel Pritchard. She is the Associate Professor of Biology, the Biology Program Coordinator, our Pre-Nursing Program Coordinator, and our Natural Sciences and Mathematics Division Chair. Doesn't seem like there's anything in biology or chemistry that you're not doing. So,
yeah, I've got my my toes in a lot of pools, if you would say that.
Well, welcome to this Panther chat. I appreciate you being here. And today we're going to talk about our pre-professional programs. We do have some pre-professional programs that are outside of biology and chemistry, but it seems like the majority of ours are encompassed in that. So you're the perfect person to talk to talking about that. And I think the first thing we need to do is define what is a pre-professional program.
That's a great question. When we talk about pre-professional programs, those are really those academic areas where they very clearly lead to a specific profession after you graduate from Kentucky Wesleyan. And so if you are pre-med, for example, you know that after Kentucky Wesleyan, you want to go on to medical school, or pre-dental students know they want to go on to dental school. Whereas someone who has maybe just a biology major could have one of those interests, or they may just be interested in research or the working world or graduate school. So it's really those programs where they're leading directly into a specific profession after graduation.
Awesome. And, you know, looking through our pre-professional programs, just the ones that we have, the pre-medicine, pre-nursing, pre-optometry, pharmacy, pre-PT, pre-physician's assistant, pre-veterinarian medicine, that also goes kind of into our zoology program too, I do believe. And then our medical technology and pre-dentistry. So those are all kind of the ones that you encompass, correct?
Yes, I work with students that are interested in all those different areas.
Nice. And there's a wide range there. So
definitely.
Once we get into the pre-professional programs, you had mentioned to me about things that we offer our pre-professional students that I thought was really fascinating. Can you talk about some of that stuff for a little bit?
Yeah, we have a lot of things that we offer our pre-professional students here on campus. So as you mentioned, you just went through the list that we have a lot of different programs that we can get them plugged into, and we have some really great partnerships with some of those. As soon as those students get on campus, we love to get them plugged in with our pre-professional society, which is a student organization, and they work with faculty in that club as well. And that's an organization where we invite working professionals in these different fields that students are interested in to come to campus. So we've had dentists and PAs and doctors and professional school representatives to talk about their different programs and admission requirements and how to get into those programs. And so we really try to get students as much experience as they can as possible in learning about these different opportunities. We also have a pre-professional committee of faculty members, including myself and others from the sciences and outside of the sciences, who work with students on advising to make sure that they're taking the right classes, thinking about professional school applications, answering questions they might have, and writing recommendation letters for them. So we support them as advisors in their classes, but we also support them in career development and other things outside of the classroom and help them get to whatever that next stage is for them.
Yeah, and I think that's really extraordinary because these students who go into pre-professional majors, oftentimes they're already looking 4, 5, 6 years ahead, because as soon as they come in, they kind of know what they want to do and they're getting right into it. So that's something that definitely helps them out with, as soon as they step onto campus, being able to start networking, talk to people who are in those majors, and really find out what it's like to be a doctor or an optometrist or a dentist from the people that graduated from you or from KWC and are coming back to help and kind of mentor those. And now when you bring in people, it's not always Kentucky Wesleyan graduates, or are they?
Not always.
Okay.
It's always nice to bring in grads, and we do that plenty of times. We've done that with local optometrists and PAs and doctors and nurses, but we are not exclusive. We love to have other folks to campus too. So for example, in the last year or two, we've had Dr. Thompson, who's a local dentist, who's right across the street from KWC, but not a grad. We've had him come to campus and talk, and that's actually led to several great shadowing opportunities for
Right.
students. And so that's another really nice thing about getting involved in Pre-Professional Society, is not just hearing from these professionals about their career and their experience and how they've gotten to where they are today, but also it's a great stepping stone to, find a resource, get involved with some shadowing. It's led to even some post-graduation jobs for students. So it's really nice to make those connections with folks in the community.
Yeah, awesome. Just to piggyback off that and to keep going on the career opportunities and everything, when they're in these pre-professional majors, what are some of the specific, we're already talking about internships and shadowing opportunities with the dentist across the street. What other type of opportunities do we have for students, whether it be internships, externships, like things that they can do to get their feet wet before they actually get into the real profession?
So there's lots of things that students can do, and a lot of that depends on your particular pre-professional interest. So for example, I work with a lot of pre-nursing students. Pre-nursing students very often might get their CNA license, might use that as an opportunity to work in the field, get some working experience before they finish their degree. We have some folks who do a lot of shadowing. Most professional schools require you to have some shadowing experience in the field. And so we work with students to make sure that they're making those connections and finding what feels like the right fit for them to get those shadowing hours in. Some professional programs want hands-on patient contact. And so we work with those students to make sure that they're, again, making those connections, getting those experiences in. And so it's more working with a student on an individual basis to make sure that they're sort of meeting those check marks, getting ready for applying to whatever that professional school is for them later on.
Gotcha. So with the classes that all of these students are going to be taking, how would they differ per se if I was to go into like pre-optometry as opposed to pre-dentistry, or like if I was going to be pre-med or pre-pharmaceutical, like how does that differ?
So there is a lot of commonality between the different programs. As you mentioned, biology, chemistry, to some extent are going to be involved in all of them. And so really, for most pre-professional programs, the classes you're going to start off with are probably fairly similar. Most folks are going to take some introductory math, some introductory biology, chemistry, but depending on your specific program after that, when you get to those upper level classes, you're going to start to see some differences depending on what you're interested in. So if you're someone who's more interested in pharmacy, we would recommend more chemistry heavy classes. If you're someone who's pre-med, then you might need some extra biology, things like anatomy,
Right.
or physiology, but you may also need some chemistry like biochemistry and things like that to help you prepare for the MCAT. Folks who are pre-nursing might need some more specialized things like nutrition or microbiology or things like that. Our PT students, they tend to even cross over and take a lot of exercise science classes because those can be related to
Yes.
some of their experiences later on as a PT student. So once you get to that upper level of your curriculum is where you're really going to start to pick and choose, do I need to go more chemistry? Do I need to go biology? Do I need a mix of both? Or do I even need to incorporate some things outside of the sciences to get me ready for whatever that professional career is?
Awesome. It's very much like a tree. Everybody starts in the trunk and then we start branching off after that. I don't know.
It's really true. Yep.
Yeah. So we've kind of talked about people coming back to Wesleyan to speak, and some of them being Wesleyan grads and doing the shadowing and stuff. In your time with us, kind of what schools have you seen people who have gone from these, or students have gone from these pre-professional programs? what schools have you seen them transition to? And then kind of what professions and what have they done once they've gotten through with both their schooling at Wesleyan and their schooling somewhere else too?
Sure. So yeah, so I'm entering into my 7th year here at Wesleyan. So I've worked with a fair number of students who I've been able to see start here and sort of go on to that next step. And even some of them now start to enter into the sort of professional working world after that. So I made a little cheat sheet of all those students that I've seen since I've been here. So when it comes to pre-dentistry, we've had folks go to Ohio State University. We've had folks stay here in Kentucky at U of L. When it comes to pre-medicine, we have a large number of students who go to the University of Kentucky. We have a pretty close partnership with their College of Medicine campus in Bowling Green, but we've also sent students to main campus and to places like Marian University in Indianapolis. Just this last year, we had a pre-vet student who's now studying veterinary medicine at Mississippi State University.
Nice.
When it comes to nursing, we work pretty closely with the University of Louisville, but we've also sent students on to accelerated nursing programs at places like Indiana State or Duke. For pre-PA, pre-PA is a very popular major as well. We've sent students to Savannah at South University, at Kettering, at U of E, at Sullivan. We've had a lot of pre-PA students over the last few years. Pre-PT, we've sent them places like Bellarmine. We had a student just this past year, or just this year, start at Western.
Nice.
Pharmacy, we've sent students to UK. We've sent students to Stanford. So we have a lot of different places that our students go.
Yeah.
I think they do tend to stay sort of close to home. We have definitely a lot that stay in Kentucky, but we have some as well that have traveled a little further out and have gone to other places.
And I think some of that just comes into the majority of our students are from the Owensboro and Kentucky area.
Yes.
So it kind of makes sense for them to stay. But I know the person from Ohio State was from Ohio, so she went back home to do that. So I mean, we have definitely a diverse group or amount of universities that we've gone to through all of them that you said, and I'm sure that's just kind of scratching the surface because we can sit here all day and just name them off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were kind of talking about our close partnerships with a couple different schools. I know we have 2 great partnerships with the University of Kentucky, and we have one with the University of Louisville with their pre-nursing program. If you would just talk a little bit to start off with the University of Louisville's partnership that we have in the pre-nursing program.
Yes, so I've been our pre-nursing coordinator for several years now, and we have a great partnership with the University of Louisville School of Nursing. They actually have a campus here in Owensboro, which is fantastic, again, for our folks who want to stay close to home. With that program, students will come to KWC, spend their first 2-ish years at KWC, finishing all of their prerequisite classes. Those are some of your introductory biology and chemistry and math, psychology, nutrition, things like that. After 2 years, you'll receive your associate's degree at KWC and then transfer over to U of L. And most students choose to do that at the nursing campus here in town, although some students do go on and go to main campus U of L as well. That is an option. And then once you get to U of L, you spend 5 semesters there to get your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and to take your NCLEX to get your license to become an RN. And there's a couple great opportunities about partnering with them. Number one, it gives students who are interested in nursing a chance to get their full BSN degree here in Owensboro without leaving, which is a really great opportunity. And most healthcare settings are really looking for BSN level nurses at this point. We do have a guaranteed space agreement with them. So each year, it is a competitive program, but each year they guarantee that 2 of their 20 upper level spots are going to be reserved for KWC students. And so it's nice to know that we have that guarantee that our students are going to be able to be a part of that program every year. And third, and I think this is like the best part of this Owensboro program, since the time that they started, their NCLEX pass rate has been 100%.
Wow.
So every single student who's starting that program is passing their license exam to become an RN. And that's even higher than the pass rate they have at the main campus of U of L. And so I think that really speaks to the quality of that program. It's a small program, just like you would get here at Kentucky Wesleyan. And it's a really great opportunity for folks who want to stay here in town and get their degree in nursing.
Yeah, that 100%, that's extraordinary.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect. So
yeah. And we have a lot of students who enter into that program, and it's very common for them, even before they graduate, to have offers to work at the hospital here in town. And so it's just a really great option for folks who want to get to that next level in nursing and are also interested in staying close to Owensboro.
Yeah. So I have the Louisville area, and as we were talking about earlier, the University of Louisville looms large here. What's the difference in the process for a student who, say, is coming from Louisville, wants to go down and get the associates at UK, or I keep saying UK, Kentucky Wesleyan, and then come back to Louisville? Like I know you had mentioned that. Is there different steps that they have to take? You also said that we get 2 spots out of the 20 in the Owensboro school, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
They have for the University of Louisville main campus, or kind of how's that different?
That's a good question. We don't have that same agreement with the guaranteed space at main campus. But as far as a student who's interested in going there instead of Owensboro, really the only difference on their end is which button they click as they're applying. It's the same classes they would take. So, you know, the program we have here would set them up seamlessly to move into either one. Right. They would take the same classes either way once they transfer to Owensboro or the main campus. Really, it's just which button you click, which location you want to apply to when you fill out that application. It is more competitive at main campus. It's a bigger program. It's more competitive. But we've had students who have made that jump instead of staying here in town as well.
Right. That's good information for me to know, just so I can tell my students who are from here who are maybe wanting to get back after a little while. So good. Thank you.
Yep.
And then the next program that we have a partnership with, the University of Kentucky's College of Medicine Early Assurance Program. What is that? How long would they be here? Can you explain the ins and outs of that?
Sure. So this has been a really popular program with our pre-med students here lately. This is a program that we partner with the UK College of Medicine at Bowling Green, and they have these types of partnerships with several schools, but with our particular one, students do have to meet certain requirements for their ACT and for their GPA. But as long as they meet those requirements, then at the end of their sophomore year, if they know they want to be pre-med and they know they want to commit to UK Bowling Green, they can apply to their early assurance program. As long as they meet those requirements and they're accepted, it's essentially a guaranteed admission spot into medical school when they finish. Awesome. So it gives them that clear path and that sort of early guarantee, that relief that, you know, I'll be in when I graduate, as long as they maintain a certain GPA. They do still have to take the MCAT, and there are some expectations about the score they would get on the MCAT. But part of that program as well, they build in extra support for those students. So there's extra MCAT prep support, and there's extra application support, and they do some mentoring with them as they move through those last 2 years of undergrad. So that's a really attractive program to a lot of students, because applying for medical school can be a really stressful process, and to know 2 years ahead of time, hey, I have a spot waiting for me as long as I keep my GPA up, as long as I get my MCAT score up, that can be really great. And it's been a really great program. We've had several students that have gone there to study and have had great experiences. So
awesome. Now, you said it's a partnership with the University of Kentucky through their Bowling Green campus?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So they would be going to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and doing it there, not in Lexington?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Just wanted to make sure I was understanding it correctly.
Yep.
And then the last one is our UK College of Pharmacy 3+4 program. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago when this was announced? Or
Yeah, this is one of our newer programs.
yeah, can you talk a little bit about that and explain it for someone like me that has no idea what we're really doing with it?
Sure. So this is another one of our sort of more targeted programs that lead into a program after Wesleyan. So with this one, we tend to get a lot more chemistry students who are interested in this, just because
Okay.
chemistry tends to be a little bit more prevalent in our pre-pharmacy majors. But
Right.
with the way that program works, students indicate that they're interested in this program. Again, they still have to take that entrance exam, the PCAT,
Yeah.
for pharmacy school. And there's a very specific list of classes they have to take here at Wesleyan. But instead of spending 4 full years here to get your degree, you only spend 3. And after those 3 years, as long as you finish that prereq list of classes and you've taken the PCAT, and again, you've met certain requirements, in essentially what would be your 4th year, you can start pharmacy school. And by the time that you finish your pharmacy school, so you've essentially taken out a year, right? So you spend 3 years at Wesleyan, 4 years at UK Pharmacy School to get your bachelor's and your pharmacy degree. So that's a really great accelerated program for folks who, again, know they want to go to that program, which is a fantastic program,
Yes.
and know they want to do it in the shortest amount of time possible, because you're essentially cutting off 1 year of your time to get that degree.
Right, and that just increases your earning potential down
Exactly.
that extra year. Yeah, my brother's a chiropractor, and he started his elementary school at a very young age. So he graduated from high school at 17, and that's what he kept talking about whenever he was going into chiropractic school. He's like, well, I'm going to be a year younger than my peers whenever I get done. So this is something that is definitely going to help those students who are getting the pharmacy end of it. They're going to be getting in a year earlier than a lot of their peers by going through this program. So I think that's really awesome there too.
Definitely. And there are some professional schools, like pharmacy school tends to be one where they will accept students in general after that 3rd year, but for the most part, you're sort of taking a gamble, right? They may take you, they may not. If you get in after that 3 years, the credit doesn't always transfer back to your original institution to get your bachelor's degree. So, you know, God forbid something happens and you don't finish that pharmacy degree, then you're sort of just left hanging. But again, it's sort of nice to know that, yes, we have this clear path. Yes, I know the credit's going to transfer back. I know I'm going to get my bachelor's degree after I finish that 1st year at UK. And so again, it's just a really great option for folks interested in pharmacy.
Nice. And when they get their bachelor's from us after that 1st year, that's a bachelor's in chemistry?
It would be a bachelor's of science in, I believe the major would be chemistry, yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was just, I know with our, our pre-engineering, they get it, I think, in mathematics or physics, one of the two. So I was, know exactly which one for this. So that's also good for me to know too. Before we close out, is there anything else that you would like to plug for the pre-professional programs, or anything that I might have missed that you would like to add in for all of our students and family who are watching?
I think I mentioned a lot of different aspects of the program so far. Like I said, any student interested in any of these pre-professional programs, please feel free to reach out to us to get more information, to learn more about whatever area it is that you're interested in. And definitely once you get to campus, as soon as possible, get plugged into the Pre-Professional Society, start to network with some of those other students in areas that are interested in areas just like you. And we're excited to help you get to whatever that profession is for you in the future.
Awesome. Yes. And if there's any questions that we can answer, if you already don't have an admissions counselor, they can email admissions@kwc.edu, and then that'll be dispersed to us so that we can get them the right information. And if we don't know it, we'll forward it on to you to let them have that. And then also, for more information about the academic programs and the pre-professional programs, if a student were to go to kwc.edu/pre-professional, it'll take you straight to the pre-professional page, which also has in the pre-engineering, the legal studies, and I think there was 1 or 2 more, the University of Louisville 3+3 BS and accelerated law program. Those are on there too. So yeah, thank you guys again. Thank you, Dr. Pritchard, for joining me and talking about this. And hopefully we will talk to you guys soon and see those emails coming in. So thanks and have a great day.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.